If you're searching for a dream home but need help choosing the right property or the right location, you've come to the right channel. Very warm welcome to Magic Bricks Now. This is Property Hotline, the show that answers all your real estate queries. I'm Kavita Krishnan. Today we are answering all your questions regarding buying, selling and investing in property. Our special guest is Shoaib Syed. Now Shoaib is the CEO Property Advisory at Motilal Oswal. He joins me in the Mumbai studio. Shoaib, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Let's get started with this query that's come in on Facebook. Now, Irfan Rahman writes in to us and he says that he plans to buy a 3 BHK flat in Life Republic by Kolte Patil in Pune for 88 lakh rupees. Now, possession is due in December 2019. Now, some people have told him that the developer often misses commitments regarding possession date and gets delayed by a year or two. He wants to know if he should invest in this project. He also wants to know how prolific is this investment. So I'm guessing he wants to know the future prospects. So that's a fair question over there, considering all that we're seeing, as far as project delays are concerned. I mean, any buyer would be bothered about that. That would be a big issue over there. What would you say about Kolte Patil?
Well, right choice of project, Rahman bhai. It's in Hinjewadi. They've already delivered almost around 133 units there. So it's a project where you can see things have happened, prices have grown. So we're expecting Hinjewadi to do well, and its proximity to the Mumbai-Pune Expressway, the IT hub, the Silicon Valley of Maharashtra. So things are really good in that side. So for me, Hinjewadi is always a big thumbs up, and I'm sure you will see an annualized return of around 7 to 8%.
Annualized return of 7 to 8%. But what about his primary concern, whether Kolte Patil will deliver on time? I believe they had some leadership issues, but that is more or less sorted right now, right?
Right, Kavita. So delays generally, completely we can't blame the developers because they are also related to a lot of approvals not coming in time and, other related issues with water problems or labor problems. But now with this, I think a lot of approvals now started coming in, and I think things are poised to grow. So government is working on that, and things have become smoother for developers. So I think that has gone back. So 1 year delay generally is normal, considering the kind of
the
markets are there. And,
right.
Generally we always tend to blame the developer, but it's not always the developer who's at fault.
Irfan, here's what you can do. This is a valid concern that you have. What you should do is, ideally, you should be doing a thorough check of the project, the approvals that the project has got before you actually go on and sign on the dotted line over there. Of course, if it's an under construction project, the developer will not have an OC. What you can look for though is whether the flat, the floor that you're buying for, whether the developer has a CC to construct that particular floor. If that is there, then I'm guessing that means more or less all the permissions are in place, right? What would you say, Shoaib?
Yes, Kavita. Means these are basic things that any purchaser should look at.
So very quickly, what are the permissions that he should be looking for? Say he wants to buy a flat on the 12th floor,
right?
Or the 15th floor.
One is that obviously they need to have basic permission like IOD and CC. Okay, and CC generally is given based on certain levels of construction completed. So then generally when the project starts, so CC starts with the plinth level CC and then it goes higher once the governing body is comfortable seeing that the project is going as per their guidelines. So once the CC is there, generally they issue a CC. So it's part of your agreement also. So if they have got the CC, that means they have got approval for that floor.
Right. So ensure that basic approvals are in place. Ensure that the environment approvals have come in. Check for all of this. If you can't do it yourself, the best thing that you can do is get the services of a lawyer who can help you out with that. The lawyer can actually even check for the land titles. So once you're done with all those checks, then go ahead and sign on the dotted line.
Having said that, Kolte Patil already has delivered, and this is part of a huge complex. They have 450 acres coming up there, and this is part of the first 150 acres. They've already delivered certain number of units, and they have a good story there. So the project is doing well. People who have purchased villas 3-4 years back at 88 lakhs, now their resale value is around 2 crores. So the good thing about those projects,
Right. So it is a project that has a backstory. The developer has a reputation in the market. So go ahead, do these checks. ensure that you're comfortable investing in the project and then go ahead and sign on that agreement. Email query next. Sumit Khubchandani says that he wants to buy a 2+1 or a 3 BHK flat in Noida. His budget is 60 to 65 lakh rupees, all inclusive. Now he shortlisted Gulshan Ikebana, Lotus Zing also on Noida Expressway. Which one he wants to know is better for end use considering livability, location and rentability. He also wants suggestions of other good properties in Noida Expressway, Noida Extension, Greater Noida, etc. that are ready to move or nearing possession. He's looking for good appreciation and rental value in the future. However, Sumit does not tell us here where his place of work is, because that would actually make it far more easier for us to tell you which market to buy into, especially if you're buying for end use. However, he's given you three options over there: Noida, Greater Noida and Noida Extension. Which would you pick?
So Gulshan Ikebana is a good project in comparison to Lotus Zing, because Lotus Zing is facing some issues with respect to giving possessions and all, and they have in 12 projects that they're doing in the first phase, only 2 towers are completed. Ikebana is a better developer to look at from our perspective.
So very clearly in the NCR market, that's a huge red flag if they've not been able to give possession yet. What about the three different markets that he is talking about?
You can definitely explore, Sector 137 on Noida Expressway. Okay, there are some good developers there, Logix, Paramount, Gulshan there. So these are developers who have good track record of completion, and good quality work.
Okay. So Gulshan Ikebana is a good pick as compared to Lotus Zing. Avoid Lotus Zing is the word coming in over here, because this particular developer has issues as far as delivery is concerned.
Yeah.
And you could also look at Sector 137. That's the chart of Sector 137 up for you. Prices averaging around 5,183 rupees per square foot. It's moved up 2% in the last 2 years. Now, don't be too disheartened by the growth that you're seeing over there, because the NCR market as a whole has shown flat growth in the last couple of years, largely due to problems with approvals and problems with delivery of completion of projects. So not too much growth over there. The market is just about picking up. So,
Greater Noida, for me, I was just there last month, and a fantastic infrastructure, with respect to metro coming up in Noida, now getting extended to Greater Noida. Great road networks, highways, 4-lane highways, connecting you to Delhi.
And sure, like we've always seen, once good infrastructure comes in, once good connectivity comes in, you will see a bump up in property prices, right?
Right.
So having said that,
I think, and this is a good time because you're getting good values, right? So, generally you should be greedy at these times, when the prices are good. Because we feel that the market will now start consolidating.
Right.
So once the stock starts going down, then the prices are moving up. So good time for people to look at, these options now. And overall, India is looking good. So I think things will get better.
Okay, so it's a good time to buy, and Shoaib just told you, it's a good time to be greedy, but I would also add, it's a good time to be prudent. You need to be very prudent and very cautious when you're buying in this particular market.
Any real estate buyer requires to be a lot of caution. You should have a lawyer's appointment.
Shoaib, we have Harpreet on the line from Gurgaon.
Sure.
How can we help you, Harpreet?
Hi.
Hi.
I have a query about Sari Crescent Park. I bought a bedroom apartment. It measures about 1900 square feet.
Okay.
And this is in Sari Crescent Park, phase 3. This is in sector 92, Gurgaon. I bought the apartment in resale in 2013. And it was supposed to be handed over in about 2014-15, but it's still not been handed over. So my question is, what kind of appreciation is expected in this property? And second, is there any indication like when this would be handed over?
Harpreet,
because it's almost complete.
Yeah, Harpreet, have you tried to reach out to the developer concerned and ask them about possession dates?
We have been following up for about almost 2 years now. Every time we call, we get assurance that within the next 3 months or next quarter they will hand over the property, but it's still not been handed over.
And is there work on site? Can you see construction work happening on site?
Construction work, most of the towers seem to be complete, but they don't allow the owners to go in and take a look at the site. They just send us some photos of the outside part of the place, that this has happened, that has happened, but nothing. They have not given any like concrete assurance like when exactly it will be handed over. Currently, they are saying that it could be handed over by the end of this year, but by going by the past track record, I'm not too sure. That's why I called up to check first.
You know, and this is the bigger problem here, that people are willing to wait, but they want some kind of reassurance, Shoaib. They want to be allowed to go on site and actually check as to what work is happening. They want a clear timeline from developers. They also understand that, you know, approvals are delaying projects, etc. But I mean, if you're not getting any assurance, what do you do? Do you have any idea of this particular project?
Yes, we, from our market perspective, Sare is it's a completely FDI funded developer, and we are expecting, he bought it at a good price. So currently the rates are around 4,500, 4,600, and they have launched a new tower almost 6,000. So the prices have gone up in that project, and so if he waits for some more time, I think by the time next 1 year. He'll see a price rise of around 6,000 because they're currently quoting 6,000 for their new launches.
So he will see price rise, that is for sure. But what is the?
I think he should address this issue and write letters to the concerned people or the developers saying that these are the issues. I'm not getting to see my project. That's his right. He is supposed to see his project, what's happening. Generally, developers do send the updates on project with pictures. When they demand money. So if he's not getting pictures, then he's supposed to write to them saying that, I need to know what stage of construction my projects are. Okay, I need to see pictures about that, and he can address it to them.
No, also, like you said, it is your right not just to get these pictures. It's your right also to actually go on site and see what is happening over there.
Kavita, what happens with the site is sometimes that there's a lot of construction happening, so there is a hazard there. So they avoid people because if construction happening, some accidents happen, then who's to be blamed? So construction sites are dangerous for buyers to get in. But obviously they can get pictures and getting live updates also about projects.
No, but that's what he's saying, that they've already waited for so long and they have every quarter they get a newer date. So obviously that doesn't make sense. I mean, and when buyers are waiting for so long.
Actually, he should go through the documents that he has signed. If the possession date is there and if it is 6 months delayed, then he can start a legal work on that. He should.
Exactly. So that's what you need to do, Harpreet. First, go through your agreement, see what is the possession date that was given to you. If you have already crossed that date of possession, you can actually seek legal help. And if you send a legal notice to a developer, then he has to get back to you and tell you, what is the status of the project and when is he going to deliver those homes. However, what you can take heart from is the fact that this particular developer in this particular project has actually launched a new tower. And at a higher price, and that is apparently selling, which means that there is some hope for the project, there is money coming into the project at least, and that should give you some kind of reassurance there. But please do not rest on this. Please reach out to the developer. If not, if you need to seek legal help, please do so. You can get back to us and we will help you, we'll tell you how you can actually go about seeking legal help in this case.
In fact, RERA should answer, most of these queries. RERA should resolve it,
Let's,
and the customer.
Shoaib, let's move on. We have Manisha Singh who's tweeted in her question next. Now, she wants to know if Habitat Panch Tattva at Greater Noida is a good project. She asks what is the average rate in the said area and the future growth prospects of this particular location.
1 second.
Habitat Panch Tattva at Greater Noida. What do you think about this particular project?
We don't know about that project, so I'm not recommending that. Generally, you should, at these times, when the times are tough, you go with developers who have good track record of completion.
Okay, what about Greater Noida as a location?
I think Greater Noida is, I think in terms of social infrastructure, Greater Noida looks very good to me.
Okay, yeah, any particular sectors that you would recommend in Greater Noida?
So we had recommended certain projects. Let me just jot down that. Manisha Singh, right? Okay. So yes, so we have developers like Gaur is there, Stellar is there, Arihant is there. These are developers who have good track record. So go for these kind of developers who have good track record. So that's my recommendation to Manisha.
Go for developers with good track record. And Manisha, the best thing that you could also do is that go in for a project which is nearing possession. That way you will actually cut down on the risk. Here's what you can do. You can go out in the market and look for projects that you like. shortlist a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them, send them to us, and we will help you narrow down the list further. Yeah. Email query next from AK Majumdar. He has a flat of approximately 1,000 square feet on Poud Road, Kothurud, Pune. Now, he bought it in 1984. He wants to know how much price should he expect if he sells it today. I'm sure he bought it at what would be considered a song today. Poud Road, it's a lovely location in Pune. How much can he expect for it?
I think Port Road is, yeah, like you said, it's a good location. I understand it should be a standalone building, you know, without any amenities and all. So we should expect a rate of around between 10,000 to 11,000 per square.
Between 10 to 11,000 per square foot. But tell me this, Shoaib, considering the way the Pune market is faring, and this is the rates of Poud Road currently, it's averaging around 9,315 rupees per square foot. Prices have gone up 63% in this particular location. Why is that the case?
People, you know, it's like, you know, you want to stay in South Bombay, you know, that's a location you like, you've been brought up there, you can see, you know, culture of Pune around in Kot Road, you know, Poud Road. So that's what you enjoy that. And it's part of the city, it's the heart of the city. So
it is obviously Pune.
So they have their own demand and,
yeah,
you know, the supply, and that's the reason you see some appreciation.
One of Pune's toniest locations over there. Also tell me this, now this is my question to you. This is a flat that he bought in 1984, and like you rightly said, it's probably a standalone building. Probably doesn't have too many amenities in place. And we know that Pune as a market is seeing an influx of township-based projects where you have everything that you could ask for. What is the kind of resale market that he's actually looking at? Is there demand for flats like these in today's market?
No, see, this place has demand. So he'll see a lot of buyers who want to, you know, move or want to buy in that location. You know, people staying around in Port Road, they don't want to go to newer locations and all. They want to stay in that same location. So you'll have buyers who will be looking at such kind of flats.
So, that was very important, what Shoaib just said, that your demand is probably going to come from within Poud itself, from within Poud Road, within Kothurud itself. So you would, of course, you should go out and post your, you should use social media to get out and talk about your the fact that you want to sell your property. But you also should probably consider speaking to local brokers, because they would probably be in a better place to, help you out, because the demand is going to be largely local. Definitely. For properties like this. Saraswati Subramaniam has sent in a question on our Facebook page. Now, she says that she owns properties in Badlapur and Thane. She wants to know about the future prospects of these locations. She also has a budget of 25 lakh rupees and is planning to invest. Now, she's looking at Khopoli, Ulve or Panvel. She asks what are the future prospects for these locations. So, she's looking at two very interesting parts of the MMR region. She's looking at Badlapur and Thane, where she already owns properties. What kind of prospects are you seeing for these two markets? Let's take Badlapur first.
I like Badlapur. It's got good rail connectivity. Now there's a huge highway connectivity happening to Badlapur. You will see 4 lanes connecting Panvel to Badlapur. Myself, I've invested in Badlapur. These are regions where, there's a huge demand for low-cost housing coming up, because the supply in Bombay can't take so much of, demand. So it's spilling over to these kind of locations. And with good railway connectivity, Badlapur will see a lot of appreciation. There's already a big developer.
Actually, in Bombay, it's basic. In Mumbai, if you're investing in Mumbai, ensure that there's a railway line to that place, ensure that there's a station. And in Badlapur, you also have terminating trains, which makes it all the more attractive. And like you just heard Shoaib say, he's an investor. He's invested in Badlapur. You can't have a better guarantee of success over there. Prices ranging around 3,694 rupees per square foot have gone up 10% in the last 2 years. What about Thane? Lot of infrastructure projects happening. Lot of infrastructure coming into that market as well.
Thane is it's now become part of Mumbai with the connectivity, the road connectivity, again the railway connectivity. Today, all the top developers you see, they are working out of Thane. So you have Godrej, who have just recently launched fantastic projects. You have Piramal doing a great job. You have Kalpataru, Rustamji, Hiranandani, and the self-consumption of Thane is also growing, so which is a very good thing.
No, but within Thane itself, you have a lot of micro markets that keep coming up. So you have the Pokhran 2 market, you have the Kolshet market, you have the Ghodbandar market. Which market would you really recommend to her? as a good market?
Thane, overall, all these markets are well connected by a road network now. So today, to reaching out from Kolshet to BKC and from Ghodbunder to BKC almost the same time. So, depending upon where you are working and what you want, and these are really good projects to invest in.
What kind of growth are you looking for Badlapur and Thane?
I think Badlapur should be between 10 to 12%, and Thane should be between 8 to 9%.
Okay, so that is how your Badlapur and Thane property is going to fare. What about where she wants to invest? She's looking at Khopoli, Ulve or Panvel. She has a 25 lakh rupees budget. How would you rank these three locations? Let's take Khopoli first.
Like for her budget, Khopoli and Panvel would be right suited, because 25 lakhs to get something Ulve would start at around 40 lakhs.
Okay.
Again, Ulve, they're all going to benefit from the new Trans Harbour link, the airport coming up, and the government spending on these locations. So today to reach Panvel from Mumbai, it hardly takes you time. You already have a freeway linking you to Vashi, and then straight away, you have direct highway to Panvel. So all these things, and with train network now for Ulve will, the train network will just start now. So I think these are really fantastic locations. Depending upon what budgets you have got, you can invest in any of these three locations.
So with the 25 lakh rupees budget, like you said, Ulve is clearly out of her reach, because prices are averaging around 5,798 rupees per square foot over here. Let's look at Khopoli and Panvel. Now, Khopoli prices are averaging around 3,401 rupees per square foot. The Panvel chart will be up in a bit. So tell us this, which would you pick between Khopoli and Panvel?
I think Panvel.
Panvel.
Because Panvel already has a train network happening for itself. So, you can today from BT, you can go to Panvel directly. And there's a good road network also. And I'm sure Panvel will do very well.
Again, Panvel is averaging around 5,933 rupees per square foot. But do remember that a lot of new micro markets are coming up in and around Panvel also. So you can actually look at those markets. What would you recommend? Buy near the airport, buy near the station?
Right now, buying near the station would be helpful.
Okay. So Saraswati, that's your answer there. Panvel is a good pick. Buy near the station. Email query next. Sushil Kumar says that he has a flat in Supertech Ace Town, Noida, that he bought for 2,950 rupees per square foot in 2010. Now he wants to know whether he should hold this property or sell. What would you say, Supertech Ace Town?
Well, he's not mentioned because to hold up properties. He's moving to Gurgaon. So I don't know what price he has bought at. But if he's getting a good return... He says
that he bought for 2,950 rupees per square foot.
Okay.
So have prices moved?
So if he's getting a good price right now, he can move out of that project. Okay, and there are better options where he could also invest in.
Okay, so moving out makes sense. How much of an appreciation should he expect? As in, what to you would be the upper limit beyond which he should probably not hold on to the property and just sell and exit?
I think if he's getting a price tag of 5,000, I think he should just exit right now. So because at the same, you can get better developers with more good construction happening. So you can sell that and start investing in better properties.
So Sushil, you can wait till you get an offer for around 5,000 rupees per square foot. That is the upper limit that you should actually expect when you're selling this particular property. If you get that, sell, exit and invest somewhere else. That is Shoaib's take. That's it on today's episode of Property Hotline. Shoaib Syed, thank you very much for coming in, answering all those questions. And if you have any questions related to real estate, it could be anything, not just buying, selling, investing in property. It could be legal issues, it could be taxes related to real estate or home finance. Do get in touch with us. We'll get the country's top experts to answer each and every one of them. That's a promise. Thank you very much.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.